Hi friends, now let's begin in detail about the various plots available. The first class of plots we look at is the comparison plots. Here we look in detail the line chart, bar chart and radar chart. So here these three charts are useful in understanding the behavior of the data for each feature. So beginning with the line chart, it displays the data points connected by straight line segments. Horizontal axis typically represents time or another continuous variable, while the vertical axis represents the value of data being plotted. The key features of this line chart, we have data points, there are lines, axes, legend about the plot, then we have title and the labels. So these are the key features in the line chart. Now some common use cases where line chart can be used. So when you are trying to show the trends and changes over the time, like the stock prices, temperature variation or the population growth, so we can use the line chart where the x-axis will be the time and the y-axis may be the stock price, temperature or population. So this will clearly show how the things are changing with time. Or it can also be used to compare multiple data sets or variables over the same time period. So here instead of one, you can plot multiple data over the line charts and have a comparison. So this will highlight the patterns, cycles and anomalies in time series data. So if you plot this line chart, we can visually and easily understand, is there any pattern visible in the data, any cycles are there in the data, and then any anomalies we see in the data. That's easy to convince that what we are trying to present, instead of the numeric data, it would be always better to put it as a line chart and show. Can also be used for visualizing relationship between two continuous variables. Need not be time, it can be any other uh, feature. So can be between two continuous variables, we can make use of using the line chart. So there are some best practices while using line charts. So one, keep the number of lines on the chart to a manageable level to avoid clutter and confusion. So when you are trying to plot these line charts, then make sure that the minimum required number of features are plotted. Otherwise it becomes too cluttered and we won't be able to understand any detail. So there would be lot of confusions if more number of lines are used in the chart. So better is to choose appropriate markers and line styles. So if you are talking about multiple lines, it would be always better. So each data can be represented with a different marker and each data can be represented with a different line style to differentiate between the multiple lines. So it's always necessary to use the axis labels, titles, legends to provide the context and make the chart easier to interpret. Instead of just showing the chart, make sure that the label, the axes are properly labeled, a title of the chart is well defined, and all the legends like each data or each line chart is representing what data and all that. So all that legend has to be properly made available so that anyone watching this particular line chart will have a better insight, easier to understand what information we are trying to convey. And consider using colors strategically to enhance readability and accessibility for color blind viewers. So also make sure that the colors are properly chosen so that even the color blind people should be able to distinguish the colors in the chart and appreciate the enhancement in readability. So colors do help us in understanding. So we can differentiate the various line charts using different colors. So we can use different colors, different line styles. You can use markers. So there are many ways to differentiate them. And while using the colors, we should use strategically such that everyone is equally benefited out of it. So we must ensure that the time intervals or the units on the horizontal axis are consistent and easy to understand. That means if we are plotting multiple line plots, so make sure that for every line plot the horizontal axis intervals or units are consistent so that it can be easy for comparing. So there's one example here. So what we see is the title is very clearly mentioned that it's about wildlife population. So yes, it is self-explanatory. We are trying to identify the population of the wildlife. And looking at the plot, we see three curves in three different colors. And if we look down, so the three colors have some meaning. So a legend is provided saying that the blue is for bears, the orange is for the dolphins, and the gray is for whales, and so on. So that makes the things easier. And instead of putting them in the form of numbers, if we put that in this form, we can easily make out what the user wants to convey here. So looking at the various colors, so say if you're talking about dolphins, then we look at the orange one and we find that and it is being reduced. So looking in what is the x-axis talks about, it is 2017, 2018, 2019, 20, 21, 22. Definitely it should be talking about the year. So it's telling it different years, what was the number of dolphins, number of whales, number of bears present at any given place. The y-axis is talking about some numbers. So the number may be in a real number or in terms of thousands or millions, depending on the situation. So currently that is missing, so we can assume that it is actual number. That means in 2017 the dolphins were somewhere around 150 and it went on reducing and it come down to zero at 2022. So it's an alarming issue that it is going down and has gone down to zero. So if you are a wildlife lover, then it should be an alarming sign. So we should make sure that by 2020 we should be doing something because we have seen that going down. So we should try to change the curve line upward, but we didn't do anything, so it's gone down to 0. On the other side, if you look for the whales, it's going up, down, up, down, up, down. So somewhere the population is almost maintained, sometime going down, sometime going up, but on average we can say that it is okay. And looking at the bears, yeah, there is some positive trend. It's keep increasing from time to time. So as a wildlife lover, it's a good sign that the number of bears are increasing. It's okay, the number of whales are consistent, but it's a very sad part to say that the number of dolphins are going down. So just looking at this one plot, this whole story we can tell about what the wildlife population is there in the given area, and that's what a line chart can do for us. More details to continue in the coming sessions. Thank you.